Could you imagine a school lunch that is delicious, healthy, and sustainable? This is exactly what the Childcare and Learning Center is serving their children every day. We were curious to learn more about how this childcare center has reduced their environmental impact through food while managing to feed 120 children every day. So let's dive right in and meet Valerie.
I'm Valerie True, and I am the director of Childcare and Learning Center. Back when I first started in 2016, when I noticed how inefficient it was to prepare so many different meals for so many different dietary restrictions, there were days we were making like upwards of 15 different iterations of the same kind of food. What sparked it was that I noticed that the vegan meal always would have been suitable for all the other children who might have been allergic or anaphylactic to egg or dairy, which were our most common allergies and anaphylaxis for several years. So there were just so many issues with it that could be resolved by eliminating animal products from the menu, including being able to compost. We wanted to have a community garden and we wanted to provide the compost for it, but if we had animal products in it, it could not be used on our garden. That was a public health requirement. Once we went to a plant-based menu, we were able to compost our own food, which now gets used on our community garden, that food now gets used in our kitchen.
I appreciate that the easiest way to do this is also ways that have broader benefits to society.
Yeah. It was operationally, it was safer, it was more efficient. It also turned out to be more cost effective. And we've determined that our menu is more nutritionally dense, that it reduced our ecological impact by 65%, and that it reduced our costs by about 9.5%. We have no problem getting children 200, 300% of their protein, their calcium, their fat, and even their iron is certainly more than 100% of their nutritional needs. So those nutrients that people think you can't get on a plant-based diet, we actually demonstrated that you can. Honestly, parents have been wonderful. They've embraced it and they love that their children are eating nutritious food when they're here. It takes a little bit of pressure off of them. They're constantly contacting the kitchen and asking for recipes.
And can you talk a little bit more about that of communicating with parents and especially I think the things that they've appreciated about the food you serve?
When we initially made the switch, we did have a couple of families who raised concern. I had already done the basic nutrition certificate. It allowed us to be able to speak authoritatively to them and put their minds at ease, because I think parents have a lot of anxiety around food and whether or not their children are getting adequate nutrition. And so we've been able to demonstrate that they are. Children love our food. It is very popular. They almost always get seconds, and they love the tofu.
Like, you'll be very surprised at what their favorite things are. Like, some of them really like pickled onions, or we've had a couple of children who are like tofu monsters.
Oh yeah.
That can't get like enough tofu.
We have a Nigerian-inspired rice jollof with marinated tofu. That is probably one of the number one hits. We have another one that's ginger fried rice with tofu. Tofu will figure prominently in all the favorites. Children don't need a specific food; they need specific nutrients, and we've demonstrated that those don't need to be from animal products.
That makes me feel so happy for these children that like that is their diet when they're so young, that they like are getting these nutrients, you know?
Yeah, and it's becoming just normalized to them that they're eating this way, and it's affecting their palate, and that will affect their lifelong diet.